In this week's SNG Explains, we'll talk about the latest hiccup in the Indus Water Treaty between India and Pakistan. Is India on the path to gradually rendering irrelevant the Indus Water Treaty? The government had earlier rejected a ruling by the Court of Arbitration in The Hague that it was competent to decide on a Pakistani complaint about the Ratle and Kishenganga hydro projects. In recent years, more and more voices in India have been demanding that the Indus Water Treaty be renegotiated or, failing that, to withdraw from the treaty. There's speculation that a recent ruling by the Permanent Court of Arbitration at The Hague, claiming competence to decide on Pakistan's objection to India's Kishenganga and Ratle hydro projects, could push India to unilaterally address what it feels are the many inequalities of the Indus Water Treaty.
The treaty first is very unfair to India because we are entitled to at least 40% of its waters because that is the catchment area in India. In fact, we are only getting 20% of the waters. As an upper riparian, we could in any case do whatever we wish to if there was no treaty. So these were constraints we imposed unnecessarily on ourselves.
India's point was that a neutral expert was competent enough to decide on Pakistan's objections to both projects, but the Hague tribunal decided otherwise. This would have added to India's sense that more than 6 decades ago, when the treaty was signed, this country did not get its due, with Pakistan getting more water despite being much smaller.
The amount of utilization of the Indus waters in 1947 in India, what became India, was a fraction of what it was in Pakistan. They were using the bulk of the waters. And therefore, any treaty that would come about should have rectified this imbalance that was there. It has led to many other problems for us in terms of exploitation of the waters, because the treaty has been so negotiated that any projects that we undertake upstream, Pakistan is able to stymie it.
It allocated the 3 western rivers, the Indus, Chenab and Jhelum, to Pakistan for unrestricted use, barring certain non-consumptive agricultural and domestic uses by India, and the 3 eastern rivers, Ravi, Beas and Satluj, were allocated to India for unrestricted usage. This means that 80% of the share of water went to Pakistan, while leaving the rest 20% of water for use by India. Signs that India was moving to ensure its interests were evident in January this year, when Delhi issued a notice to Islamabad calling for modifications to the treaty and sought a response in 90 days. That expired at the end of April, with Islamabad ignoring the notice.
I would suggest, because Pakistan has been involved in the export of terrorism to India. And in these, it's like war. In these circumstances, we are legally within our rights to walk away from this treaty. Pakistan's recourse against us isn't very much. Their recourse is terror. We have borne terror. We can deal with it. So they will shout and they will scream. Well, we will say that, look, there has been, you stop the terror, then we can talk and think about renegotiations.
Experts believe that India has gained nothing by observing the treaty. Most hydropower projects in Jammu and Kashmir have been delayed and have seen enormous cost escalation because of Pakistan's objections and legal manipulations. The treaty was negotiated at a time when India lacked capacity and expertise, which Pakistan was able to take advantage of. Now it would seem the gloves are coming off. Stay tuned for more such topics. Watch our previous explainers on the channel. We'll be back with a new topic. Till then, keep watching StratNewsGlobal.